Okay, so I better apologise now before I get any further in the video. If there's any swearing or screaming, it's because I'm riding a Hayabusa. And I know you're all going to complain saying you're not riding it hard enough, but you know what? I don't care, because this is an awesome bike, but it's a monster. So Damerals again have given us their new Hayabusa demonstrator. Oh wow. You know, this is one of those iconic bikes you see people riding and you go, yeah, I'd like to have a go on one of those. Well, I am now. It is so smooth, silky smooth. The engine is absolutely phenomenal. Good riding position. Wow. And without even thinking, you're up into 6th gear. Well, it doesn't even think it's doing anything, look, it's just going, oh, I'm only doing 3,500 RPM, what's the matter with you? What is it like on a bend? I'll tell you what it is like, it's awful. I said the wrong word there, I was concentrating on something else. It's not awful, it's awesome. Very light steering for a bike of its size. I imagined it was going to be a lot harder, more difficult to push around a bit, but it's not at all. God, it just wants to pull your arms out. So Damerals gave us the bike to take it out for a ride weeks and weeks and weeks ago. We said, yeah, we'll do that, but only when it's dry. So it's been dry for about 4 days now. I think it's dry enough. And we've plucked up enough courage to bring it out. Good heavens. It is so powerful when you wind the throttle on, it pulls you across the road into a position you don't necessarily want to find yourself in. I can understand why people find this so addictive. So light and nimble to turn, but it's a long bike. So, you know, it's turning circle of a small European country, but you get it on a road like this, and it's exactly what it's designed to do. So I'm in 4th gear, which is probably the wrong gear for it, because I've obviously not ridden it for very long. And it's just going, come on Mark, use that right hand a bit. And I know the purists will say, no, you're not ragging it enough. Well, I can't afford to be honest, because this bike just is a license loser for the unaware. My God, it's quick. So I did a tour to the Arctic Circle a couple of years ago, and I had one of these. Somebody had one on the tour. It was an older version of it, and to be honest, it was a really nice bike, and the guy was really nice, but it was not the bike that he needed. On the Autobahn he was doing 70 miles an hour because he was riding with a group, when this bike is designed to be hammering down an Autobahn. Not what it was being used for then. And I think it's a shame that people buy a bike like this and go, I've got myself a Hayabusa, and you go, you got yourself a Hayabusa, but you're driving the speeds of a Honda Melody, Oh gosh, it's a bit uncomfortable road that. You're driving like you're riding a Honda Melody. truth, it's quick. I don't know what the miles per gallon are like on this, but I don't think they're very good, because if I had this bike, there's no way you keep within any kind of sensible miles per gallon. And I can see why people buy these bikes and get into trouble, you know. People buy these kind of bikes and their ability to ride it far exceeds their ambitions, you know. Or should I say, their ability, yeah, that's right, ability to ride it is exceeded by their ambitions. I mean, you could so easily get yourself into a lot of trouble. So let's talk about it. It's got a huge dashboard. This one is gold and black. This is probably the first bike I've ridden where the speedo goes up faster than the rev counter. Which is a new phenomenon. It's got on one side the rev counter, the speedo, then it's got two little ones with the fuel, and the other one is for the temperature, and then in the middle you got this little disky thing which is on the mode switch. I mean, he tried to explain all the modes to me, and I'm not going to even attempt to try and explain them to you, because it's far too complicated while I'm riding. Obviously quick shifts, up and down, which is so smooth. I would imagine you'd have to tailor the gear lever to fit you properly. I mean, I'm riding it with a pair of army boots on, so you know, if you've got race boots or, you know, touring boots or something, I'm sure that'd be a lot easier. So costings, and there's a challenge. I've got to get down to 30 miles an hour. God, how am I going to do that and maintain it? I tell you, I have uncovered a slight issue. The riding position doesn't lend to riding with an adventure type helmet on. So a helmet with a peak, I'm losing about 1/4 of an inch of the top of the view from the visor. So I'm having to crane my neck quite a bit. So if you ask me if this is a comfy bike to ride, currently no, but if I had a proper race helmet on or something like that, then I'm sure it would be a lot nicer to ride. The engine is just gurgling. I mean, you must think it's got a right half-wit ride in it at 30 miles an hour. Because it's doing nothing. There's absolutely no strain on it whatsoever. Easy to steer around corners. Counter steering is intuitive in it. And the seat, I feel like I'm being pushed up against the tank. There's plenty of seat behind me. There's probably about 6 inches of seat behind me. Obviously not being used. So I'm in second gear, 3000 RPM, 30 miles an hour. The red line is at 11,000. So this bike's sweet spot really is probably around about 7,000 RPM. Which, I don't know what speed that would be when it's in its sweet spot, because I got up to 60, it was nowhere near that. So even doing 60 in third, it's only putting it at 4,000 RPM. So that tells you what the capability of this engine is. So the sweet spot is probably between about 5.5 and 7,000 RPM. I suppose if I was doing 70 in second, it might be up there. Wing mirrors are pretty good actually. I was thinking about that before I was riding, going, you always complain about the standard of the rear view mirrors on your bike. These are really well placed. And they're good enough to see out of, if you see what I mean, you know. Quite often they're just rubbish and all you can see is your elbow. But these, you can actually use them. Brakes are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It has got quite a bit of engine braking, but because the engine is so big and powerful, I think it's 196 brake horsepower. You know, you'd have to be riding quite quick for that to be utilised, the engine braking. So at these sort of speeds, in this kind of gear, you know, you're going to find yourself using your brake quite a bit, I would have thought. But there is engine braking there, definitely. Suspension is nice. I thought in my head this is going to be a lot harder suspension to ride, but it's not at all. It's very comfortable actually, and I can see why people like them for sport tourers. But I don't think the pillion would have much fun, mind. And as I left the dam rails, Mark said to me, oh, by the way, the hump on the back is there to stop you sliding off the back of it when you accelerate. And he's right, because it is tremendous.
Are you okay?
Oh, I think I'm in tomorrow, I think. Or was it yesterday?
I don't know, but you look like Mark from 24 hours ago.
Oh, God.
Why is that?
Look what I've been riding. It's only the Hayabusa. Look at this monster!
Enough said.
I'm done.
End of review.
I'm done. It's the first bike I've ridden, and I said it in the little ridey thing, where the speedo goes up faster than the rev counter. And as we left, Mark said to us, you know that hump on the back, he said, it's not for comfort, it's to stop you sliding off the back. And he's right. My God. Why people ride this on the road, I don't know. I can understand all the reasons why. You're going to slag me off and say you didn't ride it hard enough. But when you're doing 70 miles an hour in third, and it's not even at 3,000 RPM, and the sweet spot of the engine is between about 5.5 and 7 because it red lines at 11.
Wow.
How fast do you have to be going to do that? You'd have to travel back in time. Be like 8.8 gigawatts, well, is it?
I was quite taken back by riding behind you because I was riding this Himalayan that I'm looking at the moment. And I was thinking, I don't know why they're going on about how fast these are, because mine's going just as quick as yours is.
Yeah. But how fast did I accelerate away from you?
Well, it was like Back to the Future.
I look 10 years younger.
There was a lightning bolt and everything.
So this is 196 brake horsepower.
Wow.
Exactly. And you know, years ago when these Hayabusas first came out, there was like all the big manufacturers got together and they down-tuned all the bikes and this. So this is it, because it's just crazy mileage speeds they're doing. So at 196 brake horsepower, it probably does very close to 200 miles an hour, possibly more. I don't know, because I've got no details on it. Mark said ride it, and here I am riding it, thinking, my God, how am I going to get it back safely? But awesome bike. It's so light to ride. It's like when you see these big bikes, like you've seen BMW, the big BMW bikes, you know, and you think, my God, it must be heavy. Yeah, so well balanced, easy to ride, but doesn't it look sexy?
I really like the colours.
Do you?
And I tell you what, when you get to the lights are something special on the back. They look like car lights.
I don't know. I felt like I was be looking at them soon because I was going that quick. Felt like I'd be falling off it, hanging on. But I don't like the colour scheme myself, but they do lots of... But it's just a sexy looking bike, isn't it? And they always have looked really, really nice.
It is.
I mean, they got the front is just... It's like it's starting. You're going, yeah, come on then.
Well, and what I like about it is Hayabusas have been the gold standard for speedy bikes, haven't they, forever?
Yep.
And the shape is really distinctive, and what they've done is brought that shape into the 21st century.
It's almost Tron-like.
Yeah, but they've kept certain bits of the old style, haven't they? Which gives you the opinion that as soon as you see it, you know it's a Hayabusa.
Nice.
Very smart.
Nice.
Very smart.
Come and look at the gubbins inside, though.
What gubbins?
This gubbins here, you can't get under that. How you get under that screen, I don't know. I won't fit, definitely. But look at that.
Wow.
Hey! I said some
Nice.
Japanese right in there, but I don't know what. I won't translate it. My Japanese isn't the best.
That is like a car dashboard, isn't it?
Yep. So you've got a speedo, a rev counter, a fuel gauge. That's gone down substantially since I left.
The fuel?
I don't know why.
Really?
But I don't really know how many miles to the gallon it does, but I'm sure it's not very good. And a thingy. You've got a...
Oh, you've got loads of buttons.
Yeah, that goes into all sorts of modes that Mark briefly tried to explain, but I'll let you go online and have a look at it because it's far too complicated for an idiot like me. But standard everything else, on, off, start, and all the rest of it.
What are the mirrors like then?
Mirrors? Now you'd think they'd be garbage because they're quite small, but do you know what? They're really good.
Oh.
You can see right behind you, as opposed to seeing your elbows, which on some of these style of bikes you would imagine that's all you're going to see.
What's the wind protection like on this?
Well, I had a peaked helmet on, didn't I? And I got to be honest, this is not the bike for riding with a peaked helmet because you lose about that much vision from the top, and you're trying to bend your. I have to see a chiropractor now. How you get underneath that, I don't know, because I definitely couldn't with my jacket on and all the rest of it. But this riding position is awesome. Nice sport bar handlebars. Going around bends, it's so easy to just counter steer because the bike is really well balanced. It's really light and it's so manoeuvrable. But it has the turning circle of a small European country.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But if you come towards the back, the seat is comfortable.
It looks like a really well machined seat, actually.
It's gorgeous. Now they call these sport tourers, don't they? Where you'd want to tour on it, I don't know, because I don't know where you put your luggage. Any ideas? If you strap a bag on it, it's just like...
You've got a pocket there.
Take clean pants. You know, there's nowhere to strap anything, but I'm sure you can. But come round the back. The engine is all obviously gorgeous, but look at the exhaust on the thing.
I know, and it does look really special. And those lights, they do... Put one of the indicators on, Mark, because it does look like the back end of a car. They're really, really...
In fact,
good lights.
I'll do that. I'll put both on. I'm not afraid.
Yeah. Well, when they're flashing, you see inside, all of the LEDs are actually angled to get the best view from behind.
Oh, wow.
They're not just stuck on there like lots of bikes. They've actually thought about where those lights are angled, haven't they?
Yeah. So, what's it like to ride then? It's an absolute beast.
What's it sound like?
Oh, awesome. I'll do that in a minute. But look at this. I'd like to say I did that. The chicken strips.
What,
No.
did you not?
I didn't. I don't think I did. If I'm honest. In my head I did. But, you know, phenomenal bike. Licence loser straight away. Best on a racetrack where you get the most out of it. You know, if you're poodling around town, horrific, because it's quite you're in that lying down position and you can feel it on your handle, on your arms. But once you get riding on it, you got a bit of speed. It's easy. It's really easy. But I'll switch it on because the engine sounds like nothing else. It just sounds. Oh, I can't even start it now. Hey? You reckon? It's like water going over a waterfall. And then the man in the barrel following it going, ah! It's nice, isn't it? And I can even do that with it. Now that would just scream at you.
Now it's interesting because if you rev a lot of bikes up, you hear the engine making the noise, and of course you do on this bike. But this is like a Honda, isn't it? When you, in terms of the how I analogize it is the smoothness of what's happening inside, and that sounds like somebody's just creaming off butter. That's smooth.
Yeah,
It's just
I get that.
Such a beautiful sound.
I get that. The whole bike is so smooth to ride. And you know, it wouldn't take you very long to get very proficient at it, but I do think people buy them without the ability to ride it. And that's why we see flower displays around bends sometimes, isn't it? You know, people buy bikes that are totally not suitable for what they want. But, you know, awesome bike.
There's a lot of riders that ride these who respect the fact of what it does, how it can behave, and how it makes you behave on the bike.
I was saying, I had a guy on a tour, and it was dropped, unfortunately. It wasn't the bike for him. And we were on the Autobahn, and they was riding in a group, they were doing 70 miles an hour. This should be absolutely screaming its balls off on an autobahn. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's for. And I really felt sorry for the bike because the gubbins must be all clogged up, you know, because it didn't really get a ride, which is what you need to do to this bike.
Wow. See these marks down here? Now they obviously mean something, but I wonder whether it's a Japanese word, so somebody can tell us in the comments what it is, but I wonder whether they put that on there because it goes past you so quick, all you see is the blur.
Might be. It might say Hayabusa.
Oh, it might do.
There you go. Anyway, do we like it? Yeah, we love it. I was just checking something then. Yeah, we love it. Would I buy one? No.
If you were doing track or something like that, if that was your bag, you know, this is the bike, isn't it?
The practicalities of it for me are not, you know, and I'm not slagging it off in any way because it is massively, awesomely gorgeous. I love it. Just wouldn't buy one myself, but people love them.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've waited for 6 weeks of dry roads before we rode it. Because I don't know what it would be like in the wet.
Just to let the viewers into a secret, he wasn't actually riding, it was on the back of a train.
But, you know, an awesome bike. So we've reviewed it, we like it, we love it, wouldn't buy one. Buy them in their thousands, people, because they are an awesome bike, but just be really careful on it because this is a beast. So, like the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. I apologise I didn't go over the national speed limit, but I have a licence I don't want to lose, but this is probably capable of doing 3 times that.
Yeah, by yesterday.
By yesterday. I'll see you in a bit.